Thanks for joining me today. This is Brett Owens from Chrometa, our CEO and co-founder. I am going to take you on a spin through the Chrometa system. We're going to work quickly, so I'm going to go 10 minutes sharp here. I am happy to stick around and take your questions throughout or afterwards, so if there's anything that you would like to see me demo in more detail, specific to your situation, go ahead and type in any questions you have into that GoToWebinar window. You can type them in at any time. I'll keep an eye on them as I go. If I can handle your questions on the fly, we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll save some time for questions afterwards to go through anything that you would like to see. But what I've got here on Chrometa is my time captured for this morning so far. So I've got it about an hour worth of work here so far out here on the West Coast. So I've got my time broken down by application and then what I did within that application. So for Gmail, for example, I have the subject line of the emails that I have touched, the to and the from address. Over on the right side, you can see I've got my time spent. So I can see for each individual email, you can see I've spent 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. So this is all time entries that I can take and then bucket to certain clients and projects. Same idea for all of the applications I've used. So for Microsoft Word, I've got the title of the Word document here and the total time spent over on the right side. Same idea for Microsoft Excel, so on and so forth. I also should have some mobile entries popping up here soon that I will show you. I just did a sync. So for my phone, I'll show you in a couple of minutes how I've got my phone calls, text messages coming in here as well. So where does this time come from? So from the timeline view, which is in the upper left here, you can see that I've got a play-by-play of literally everything that I've done for every minute of the day so far. So you can see that I started working on my computer around 8:15 a.m., jumping from emails to text. So multitasking, as many of you probably do throughout the day, but this is how we're capturing time, looking at what we're doing for each minute. This is how we're making sure we're getting everything and not losing any time. So how do we get it from here to a timesheet? So a couple of ways we can do that. So let's walk through some scenarios and shortcuts. One way to do it is to use our summarize time here. So this takes all those little minute-by-minute entries that I just showed you on the timeline and buckets them into all the time that we spent. So for example, for this email, for these two emails, it's possible that I was jumping back and forth between them. So I may have multiple entries on the timeline. What Chrometa is telling me here is that I spent 3 minutes plus 3 minutes, so I've got 6 total minutes that I spent on these emails. Now what I can do is use the Move to Project drop-down at the very top of my screen. And I've got a nice autocomplete here, so I can just start typing in the name of my client and project. This will autocomplete with the name of that project. And what I can do is either just click that project to dump this time into it, or I can make use of one of my shortcuts over here on the right side. So what I'm going to do is click the pen shortcut, which gives us the ability to annotate at the same time that we're categorizing this time. So I can say that this was a text email discussing 2016 plan. What I'm doing now is I'm taking the computer time, sort of the computer speak, and I am moving it down to my timesheet. So I've got my client and project list here, and then I can expand it. So I've still got my initial emails located within here, but this is my annotation. This is what's going to show up on my timesheet if I'm exporting to a third-party system. This is what is going to go across the wire over to that system. I have a rounding setting here, which rounded my time up to the 6-minute increment. I was already at 6, so nowhere to round it from there. But if it had been a 1-minute entry, it would have rounded it up to 6 minutes. Okay, so I can do this to populate my timesheet. Now there are some shortcuts I can take advantage of to do this automatically. So let's go to this Word document. So if I want to say that anytime, if I want to tell Chrometa anytime you see a certain keyword, whether it's a title of a document or maybe even an email address that you see or a domain that you see, I could say that I always want to bucket this time to a particular project. So I could do that here, and instead of just moving it once, what I'm going to do is use the second shortcut to also create a rule. And in this case, I'm going to say that, let's say anytime I see the keyword CVS what I always want to do is move it to this specific project. I can also give it an annotation if I would like. I can hit preview, which will pull up entries that have this keyword contained, so I can see what I'm going to be bucketing as I create this rule. I can also apply it to past entries if I would like to have the system kind of run through everything that is captured, and then bucket time that's been found with this keyword. So as I mentioned, I can do the same idea with emails. So I could say that, let me find one here with an email address, or you could say, for example, that anytime you spent emailing, sorry, let me unselect this one. Rule you could create is that anytime you spend emailing with me, or anytime you spend emailing with anyone on our team, so at Chrometa.com, you could have that automatically move to a certain client and project, and then you could have that moved all the time. You can preview it to see what you're going to move. So what that's going to do for you is then just make sure that you've always got that time entry moved to that project anytime you see that keyword in there. And then I'll show you our little rule shortcut here. This is where you can move over to our rules side, and you can see, so anytime you move a certain keyword, you move it over to our rules. Okay, let's get into mobile now. So I've got some Android calls captured from this morning. These are text messages. So for my Android app, it's pulling the action. It's also pulling the contact name into Chrometa. For iPhone users, and I think we have an iPhone question in, so let me talk about iPhone here as well. So our iPhone app does not scrape the phone as our Android app does. It's an Apple restriction. So the way to sync with your iPhone is we need to go through your carrier if possible. So we integrate with actually 4 carriers now. So Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, and Vodafone. So the way to get your iPhone entries in, if you're not already doing this, would be you're going to do an export from your, for example, let's say you're on Verizon. You would do an export from your Verizon account. You can get a file, so you can get a file for the entire month. So the text messages for that month, the phone calls for that month. We can bring the whole file in here, but there is that extra step where you need to export your time from Verizon and import it here. So if you're looking for this menu, this time is going to be located, see on that move to project line, what you'll do is you'll hit the iPhone button, and this is where you can upload your iPhone time here. So there's a little phone icon here at the very top of your screen that you can hit. This will actually stay at the top of your screen, so you can hit this to import your iPhone time. Okay, did want to cover integrations as well here. We got a couple minutes to go, so we'll go over integrations, show you how to get additional training, and then we'll get into other questions that you have. So on the integrations side of things here, if we're exporting this time from our timesheet over to a third-party system, what you'll typically do is connect us up with that system, and then you will be able to get that available here. So as you can see on my timesheet, when I export, I've got an export available to, in this case, Cosmolex. We do have integrations with many of the kind of the who's who of the practice management accounting world, so you can enable that integration once, and then what you do is you'll hook up Chrometa. You can export the time over to those systems as if they were time entries created over on that side. And also from our client and project list, you'll be able to import your clients and projects over from those systems. So that, for example, from Clio, for Cosmolex, for QuickBooks Online, you can use those systems as a source of your clients and projects, and then import them over to the Chrometa side of things as you go. With a minute to go, let me just show you how to get additional support and such in training, then we get into any more questions that you have. So to add Chrometa to an additional device, if you want to put it on another computer, another phone, you can just add using the shortcuts on this page here. We do offer complimentary one-on-one training sessions as well, so you can do those. Sign up for an additional session right here using this link. This will go into more detail, more time, and of course specific to your case. So group setting here on the webcast, we can do one-on-ones as well, so you can sign up for these here. Finally, contact info. We do phone, email, live chat 6 days a week, Sunday through Friday, and here's the info for getting a hold of us right here. Okay, let me get back to other questions that we have. Okay, on the iPhone export, no, you don't have to do that every day. You would do this, for example, on a monthly basis. So at the end of the month or whenever you're reconciling your time, you can get the whole spreadsheet from your carrier and then bring it in here. So no, it's not a daily activity. Probably would be a weekly or even a monthly activity. It doesn't have to be done every week. Okay, so if we're caught up on questions, I will let everyone go. You will get a recording of this, so if you have any follow-ups, let us know. Otherwise, thank you for joining. Hope it was helpful, so please do stay in touch. Let us know how everything is working out for you on the Chrometa side. Hope to talk to you soon, and have a great rest of your Thursday.